What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning into this episode of Fresh Beats. Even though this is only my third episode, so much has happened over the past month that I felt it necessary to take a break from doing my show, as there is so much more important content we all need to be watching these days. I have a lot more to say about that, but perhaps I'll save it for another episode. Perhaps. In this episode of Fresh Beats, I had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing the North Bay's very own Red Bull 3-Style USA champion DJ Lazyboy. Lazyboy beat stage 4 cancer at the age of 14, but unfortunately was diagnosed once again in September of 2019, just prior to entering the Red Bull 3-Style USA battle. As mentioned, he won that and was well on his way to the World Finals in Moscow when COVID-19 hit and pressed the pause button on life as we know it, or the start-stop button for you DJs out there. I was afraid I wouldn't have much to ask him since there are quite a few interviews of him out there already. And the first rule of a good interviewer is do not ask questions that they've already answered in prior interviews. Despite all of that existing content, we still managed to chat for over 2 hours. But don't worry, I was able to edit it down to just under 2 hours for you. I really wanted to get some insight on what it's like to have to undergo any major medical procedure from the perspective of a career DJ who's on their own when it comes to health insurance. He didn't have too much to say about that, unfortunately, but he did offer some good insight on what a powerful tool social media can be when it comes to major medical procedures. Lazyboy seems to appreciate every moment of his life. I went into this interview feeling bad about taking his time, as I'm sure he has plenty else to do. But he settled in and got comfortable and really seemed to enjoy having the conversation with me, a total stranger. And it felt more like a conversation than an interview. He wasn't afraid to fire back some questions or challenge something I said, which I really appreciated. He's a funny guy, and he has an infectiously positive attitude about life in general, even when he has every reason not to. My major takeaway from this conversation was that happiness is a choice. And despite what curveballs life throws at us, it's up to us to remain positive and choose to be happy, or not. I hope you find a positive message in this interview as well. Enjoy.
Than this.
DJ Lazyboy, aka DJ Productive Boy, aka Greg. You prefer Greg or Gregory? Or just Lazyboy?
You can call me shithead if you want. Are you allowed to curse?
For sure. This is not a censored show. Not at all. How'd you get your name?
Well, I was adopted, and then my parents didn't like Lamont, so they called me Gregory.
Okay. Your parents didn't like, what was your name originally?
Lamont.
Lamont.
Yes.
Interesting.
My last name was Johnson.
Lamont Johnson.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's kind of cool. That'd be kind of a cool DJ name. I like Lazyboy better, though. Are you lazy?
I don't know. I guess it's kind of debatable. If you're talking about my DJ name, which I assume you are, just being a jackass, I guess I thought I was lazy, and I picked one word that would describe myself, and then I slapped the boy on the end of it, and that was it. It was a wrap.
Right on. Well, you seem to be far from lazy, man. You have a lot going on, and lazy people don't have as much going on as you do. So I'll take it as a clever name.
I'm looking at your cat. Your cat's being kind of lazy right now.
She's super lazy. She doesn't do anything around here.
She stood up and then did a turn and then sat back down.
That's the extent of her day. That's the most she'll do, and then she'll nap for 9 hours after that.
Yeah, I'm not that lazy.
That's good. Let's see. Thank you for your time. I know a lot of people want your time right now, especially right now, and I really appreciate you offering it to some of it to me and my listeners.
Sure.
Yeah, man, really appreciate it. I understand you did a project with DJ Ajax's niece.
Oh, yeah. It was more like me and my homie were at the scratch thing, and he was there, and she was there, and they recorded it on the iPhones. But, yeah, it was fun.
Right on.
It's not every day that you get like 2 U.S. champs in the same room.
It is not.
No, although it's kind of easier to happen in the Bay Area now.
That's true. That is true. But it's something about the Bay Area.
Yeah.
We're breeding DJs at a rapid pace here. Let's see. Your interest in music started with the violin. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, the thing was like this big.
Yeah.
I wish I still had it.
You could incorporate it into your DJ sets. That'd be dope.
I don't know about that, but I come from a Jewish family, so like my mom always played Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay.
And so like I told her, I'm like, I want to play like that guy. And so they got me a violin and I started lessons.
Tight. I like it. And you also you were into Jerry Lee Lewis for his showmanship back then.
Yeah, that dude was crazy. Like kicking the piano stool and then lighting the piano on fire.
Yeah, man.
And then I used to do piano. I used to do like talent shows at my elementary school.
Okay.
And I had no sense of style, so I would like go out wearing a suit, and then I'd have like red and white Jordans on because they were my favorite shoes.
Mm-hmm.
My only pair of Jordans my dad ever bought me because he's all about. He made hella money one year, like crazy amount of money, and he would drive this like 94 like beat up Chrysler piece of junk. And he put some rims on it just so it would handle better, and then he rebuilt the motor like twice. So that's where he came from. So that's why I wore the shit out of my Jordans. But if I would have really paid attention back then, I would have lit the piano on fire in the middle of the talent show.
Yeah.
I would have gotten expelled just to do that.
You'd have won. It'd have been worth it.
Oh, it would have been worth it even if I'd have lost.
You should do it in a DJ battle now. Although I do believe it's been done
played
already.
out. It's played out.
That's true. That's true.
Swamp
right.
did it first, and I saw Shout to Swamp. And then
That's
someone
right.
did it at 3 Style, but they just did like a little part of the record. It was like super, I don't know, it didn't feel right. You gotta douse it in whatever flammable liquid you're using, so you're taking a risk by sticking your hand in the fire, you know?
Right. Was that the year Swamp won?
I think so.
See?
I know he
It
won in
works.
the Bay. I don't know. Did he win
Yeah.
a national championship and a world championship?
I don't recall.
I know he won in the Bay.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he went all the way one year.
Uh,
I'll have to look that up. All right. So no light and turntables on fire. But do you think that showmanship plays a role in your DJing because you are very you're flamboyant. You're very you have quite a bit of showmanship. It's impressive.
flamboyant.
Yeah. Like I don't. Is that a?
I wouldn't describe myself as flamboyant.
No.
No. Charismatic, maybe.
Okay.
Flamboyant
yeah.
sounds like I like.
I hear you. It's got a. I just noticed it right after I said it. It does have a shall we say a feminine ring to it. I didn't mean it that way at all though.
I don't know. I like doing crazy shit in my sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. You're into it. I dig it. It's makes it very entertaining to watch because it's one thing to listen to a DJ, and especially for people who aren't DJs who don't know exactly what's happening on the decks and why things are sounding the way they are. It helps to have another element, and you have that element for sure. So good on you.
Word. Thanks. I spent 3 hours online, 3.5 hours right now this morning streaming.
You did?
Yeah. I was doing some old routines too. So it reminded me of what you were just saying.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dope. Right on. Is that gonna repost? Can people go?
It's already up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
On your Twitch.
Yeah, twitch.tv/DJ Lazyboy.
Yeah, boy. Go get right after this interview. Tune into that.
And every weekday I'm gonna do it at 7, I think.
Okay. Every weekday at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
That's ambitious. Are you an early bird?
Oh yes, I'm an early bird and a late bird. I just need like 5 hours of sleep and I'm good.
Lucky you. All right. That'll keep you productive, man. Good for you. All right. Early influence. Let's see. Oh, you started DJing in the late '90s, right?
Yeah, December '99, so it's late '90s hits.
Okay. Right
But
on. Just,
but I've been a
just
fan for a long time. Like I used to buy mixtapes down at World of Stereo. There used to be a spot right next door that sold hella bootleg mix CDs and stuff.
I remember.
Yeah, it was like the liquor store, right next to the liquor store. You walked through the liquor store, and in the back they had like I don't really quite remember, but it was so long ago. But
Yeah. That's a trip. I forgot all about that. World of Stereo is
right,
like the only thing I can think of on that block now. Everything else seems to have closed down.
I want to say it was the same place, but I don't think it was.
Yeah. I wonder. That was a long ass time ago.
But I used to live in Santa Rosa. I drive down. I go get I get DJ Clue mixtapes,
Nice. Hell
and
yeah.
because I always had like the new shit on there, right? And then I'd be driving back home to Santa Rosa and Sebastopol, and I'd be bumping that shit in my car, and I was always trying to bump the newest track, the hottest track, right?
Hmm.
And then Clue would come in, like volume turned up to, plus 12.
Hmm.
And then he'd be yelling over the music, and I'd have to turn it down really fast, and I'd be embarrassed.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so you're from the North Bay, you're from Sebastopol, and I heard you mention in an interview that it's a bit of that the North Bay is a little sleepy in terms of hip hop culture. Do you still feel that way?
I don't know if I ever felt that way. What interview was that?
I don't
Remember?
recall. I've listened to a couple of your interviews over the past 24 hours and read a lot of read a couple of articles, and there was one of them that those weren't the exact words you used, but you basically were like, I'm from Santa Rosa, and there's not not necessarily a lot of hip hop happening there, or maybe it was DJ culture, but something along those lines. And the reason I ask is because I grew up. I grew up just south of San Francisco in San Bruno, and I had cousins in Santa Rosa, and I would go visit them. And I remember I really enjoyed visiting them because there was a lot of skateboarders out there, and you could skateboard anywhere out there without being harassed by the police. And
Yeah.
yeah, but maybe you have a different experience. But whenever I would go there, I never got harassed. And then when I started working in nightclubs in the '90s, I started meeting all these b-boys, and a lot of them were from the North Bay. There
Yo,
was so much
the
Santa
b-boy
Rosa
game is
representation.
so fierce. Like, so that's how I got into hip hop. Kind of. I did graffiti, and I did a little breakdancing.
All right.
And there's some legends from Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Oh man, the first one that comes to mind is Rock's Right, world champion. Also a Red Bull world champion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did the RB1 or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And then
Those are the best battles, man. I love watching those.
yeah, there's another dude. I want to say his name was started with a G. I don't know, but he was famous for doing like 1990s in the back of his wrist.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yo,
Um,
what's your Twitch so I can chat?
my Twitch is Von Woo, VONWOO. I know who you're talking about, and I'm
I want to say it was Gordy. Gordo.
Yeah. Gordy.
Gordy, yeah.
Yeah. He, so the club I worked at in the '90s, like, there was a girl who managed it who was she was a B girl, and she was friends with all the biggest B boys, and Gordy.
Gordy. It was Gordy.
He was there a lot. Yeah, man. A lot of talent. So that's why I asked that about the North Bay. There's some heavy hip hop culture representation from there now. Shout out Jimmy Hits.
Yo, Jimmy Hits is the homie.
Yeah, man.
He just put out a song called 6 Feet. I
Okay.
try to throw it in a lot of my tracks.
Oh, dope. Right on.
Yeah, so I met him. Him and his brother Alex, they used to break at this high school, Elsie Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and my homies, the folks I kicked it with in the B-boy game, were from Piner, which is right by the skate park.
Okay.
It was me, this dude Dustin. I was just talking about this yesterday, actually, and this other Cambodian kid, Jury,
Okay.
and Dustin was also. Him and Jimmy were like the best at 1990s in the whole area.
Tight.
Like Jimmy could do like 7 or 8 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He's a man. He's such a talented DJ, man. I love watching him DJ.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So buying those mixtapes next to World of Stereo, you said you were a fan of DJs before you were actually DJing. Who were you a fan of?
I mean, I was just a fan of getting new music first. That was it, really.
Gotcha.
Didn't really matter to me at the time. But when I started realizing that, when I started listening to it and I started noticing certain songs, it was mainly about, like, what key things were in for me.
Okay. What key things were in?
Yeah, like hearing people mix in key was something really big for me.
Wow. That's very
Yeah.
musical of you.
Well, I played the piano and the violin before that.
Mm-hmm. And the
the
drums.
drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you if you think that plays a big role in your
Well,
in your
percussion, not really
turntablism.
the drums. More than the drums, just percussion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think just being in music overall had a big impact on my my view of DJing and how things should be done. Just certain ground rules. Just not trying not to clash that often. And if you're mixing 2 songs that don't go well, that don't harmonize, then just do like a radio mix where you bring up the one fader and bring down the other.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them ride together because it sounds awful.
Got you. Future DJs, up and coming DJs, listen close, because that's great advice right there. I've heard a lot of DJs, just because 2 songs are the same BPM or you can match them in speed doesn't mean they go together.
Yeah. And that smooth radio mix style is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. You were a fan of, or maybe still are, but one of your early influences was DJ Jam, Snoop's DJ.
Yeah, so yeah, I bought a few of his mixes. I got them from, I don't think I bought them. I think I got them from some of the homies.
Okay.
Yeah, he was dope. He was the first person I ever heard double cut, which is like backspin, bring the record back, and play the first line again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and then one of the homies from around the way, Victor, he went to run a music conference.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was called that back then. I think it was. And he came back with the Spin Bad mixtape.
Okay.
And then when I heard
So
that shit, I was like, oh, damn, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
there was, I also used to listen to DJ Icy Ice.
Yeah, man, Icy Ice. A guy I grew up with and DJ'd with for quite some time, Andrew B. out in Las Vegas, was he had moved to. We went to junior high school together, but in high school he moved to L.A. and he was hanging out with Icy Ice, and that was a big deal, man. He learned a lot from him.
I did some work with him, with Andrew.
Okay, yeah, right on.
I taught a class in Vegas at something for him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew and I used to have a crew called Total Chaos.
Nice.
Yeah, man, good days. Let's see, shortcuts. You're into Triple Threat and Apollo in those early days too.
Yeah, Apollo was like my biggest influence.
Dude, he's so fun to watch DJ, man. He's so clean. He's just like, yeah.
I never watched him. I didn't see him for years, so I just bought his CDs.
Oh yeah.
I found his CDs. The first one I found was Get the Fuck Up.
Okay.
I believe it's available online. Just search DJ Vinrock. get the fuck up. It might be on his website.
Okay.
It might be on Mixcloud, but it's all like underground or hip hop, backpack type of hip hop. Super fire.
Sick. You mentioned Vinrock there, but we're talking about Apollo, right?
Yeah, Vinrock. I found Vinrock after finding Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
But Apollo was like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
So I went out and bought doubles of Full Clip.
Okay.
And it was like a double album.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had 2 records in it. It was a big record. It cost like $30 or $40 a piece.
You had to buy 2
at
of them.
Amoeba. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So I bought it, and then I was like, well, what did he do there? Like, how did he do that part? Like, and so I just figured out each step by step.
That's real smart. You would kind of deconstruct DJ sets when you were first getting started. That was kind of how you learned. You would deconstruct DJ sets. That's really smart.
Just by listening to it.
Yeah, and just figuring out how they made it sound like that.
Yeah, I was never really good at reading music, so like I kind of like relate the two. You know, like I would listen to it and just figure it out.
Yeah, right on. I like that. That's brilliant. All right, so Shortcut's your mentor. He's another one I love. Of course, you know it's really dope to watch him scratch. I was with him at the first Manor Music battle he won. I always thought that was the first battle he actually won, but I've recently learned I was wrong about that. But it was always a pleasure to watch him cut. But to watch him party rock is especially fun because he's doing so much on the decks that most of the crowd is not even aware of. He's so busy. He's throwing in beats. He's drumming, and it's so clean that you don't notice he's doing it. It just sounds like part of the song. So yeah, Shortcut. That's a good mentor to have right there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really talk much these days, but he's definitely like, if I have a question, if I need some help with something, he's available to pick up his phone if he's not streaming or something.
That's cool.
And help me out. He's a good dude, real good dude.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that you mentioned one of your favorite party rockers is Sick With It from the North Bay.
Yeah. He's fun. He's really fun to watch and listen to.
Yeah, I think I heard him when he was at Temple, and yeah, that was a good North.
He was
Bay
actually hanging out yesterday on my live stream.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Let's see. Your family life is crazy. We don't need to get into that. If anybody is interested, go check out the Reflections of a DJ podcast on SoundCloud. There's a good 2-hour interview with Greg on there that covers the gamut.
Shots to the homies.
Yeah, man. In fact, after listening to that, it was hard to think of questions to ask you that they hadn't covered. So let's see. I mainly am interested in learning about the process you've gone through. So just to catch everybody up to speed, you were initially diagnosed with cancer at the age of 14.
Yeah.
Right. You were diagnosed with stage 4 squamous. Am I saying that right?
Tomato. I think it's squamous or squamous.
Copy that. Stage 4. A lot of people don't come back from. And the crazy thing about that was that you were misdiagnosed at first, and then your mom, quote unquote, pulled some quote unquote mom shit, and got a hold of your biopsy and brought it to another doctor and got a second opinion, and that's when you were officially diagnosed. Is that right?
Yep.
And shout out Dr. Alamitro Kramer. We want to give him a plug. He said, if you ever have cancer, go see him.
The dude's getting old. So
Yeah.
I don't know. He's getting real old.
I'm glad he helped you out, man. So that was when you were 14. Let's see. You were, and you beat that. Right on, man.
Yeah.
You were diagnosed again last year, and you kind of suspect that the treatment from the first round of cancer may have caused your second round. Is that right?
That's a suspicion amongst the doctors.
Yeah, that seems to be a common suspicion these days with cancer. I
I
don't
mean, radiation causes cancer, so it makes sense.
Right, and they are doing the radiation-free cancer. The radiation-free chemo these days. My dad just went through that, so hoping for the best on that. We're hoping that that's a better outcome there. You were diagnosed last year. Let's see. You've had 20% of your tongue removed. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Um, but you're such a good sport. You joke that you still have 80% of a tongue that some ladies out there will enjoy. I appreciate that. I
I'm
appreciate.
waiting.
I appreciate your attitude in general, man. You're a very positive and upbeat dude, and you know, in times like these, especially, it's really easy to get down and really easy to just feel defeated by life. And but I look at somebody like you who's just positive and upbeat, man, and that's the way to be. I really appreciate that, and I think a lot of people out there could use that kind of energy right now. And I mentioned that to you yesterday in our pre-interview, and you said you don't think a lot of people want to hear that. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a choice. A choice to be happy, you know? You
Yeah.
can be happy or you can choose to be sad or mad or bothered or upset or whatever, you know? It's really just a choice. I hear people say that a lot, and I know when I'm going through some shitty shit, you know, even hearing someone say that kind of encourages me to cringe. But I truly believe that way. You know, a lot of things happen, and they can encourage us to feel like life sucks. But if you take a step back and you look at life, the opportunity of having this life, you wouldn't have those sucky moments if you didn't have this opportunity. You wouldn't have the great moments if you didn't have this opportunity. So why focus on the shitty stuff? You know?
Right on. So
It
with
really kind of sums it up.
yeah, man, with the good come the bad, and we can choose to focus on the good or the bad.
There's going to be a lot of shitty shit that happens that hasn't happened in either one of our lives, in everyone's life.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stopping that. We're all going to die. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything comes to an end for us.
Right.
So, like I said, we can just focus on the good stuff and what there is to be grateful for, no matter what. Like I had a retinal artery occlusion, aka an eyeball stroke,
Okay.
recently, and I lost vision in my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of all this other shit, getting cancer, having my tongue cut out, and not being able to sound as clear as I wish I could,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I could have been really down and out about it, yeah. And I was a little shaken up by it a little bit, but I just reminded myself that, you know, could have been a lot worse. Could have been a stroke in the brain, and I could have died, you know?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for being able to not experience the death part and finding out, you know, what they believe the cause is and being able to treat that, you know, before it gets to that level, you know?
Yeah. Good for you, man. That's extremely positive, and that's it's inspirational. Yeah.
What about yourself? When you're down, what are you the type to, like, look at it like, why me, or do you look at it like, hey, you know, yes, this sucks, but I got all these other things that are going for me.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, I'm learning that my predisposition is to dwell in the negativity and the woe is me kind of mindset, and I'm learning to not be that way. It's very selfish. You know, I have so much to be thankful and grateful for, and I need to focus on those things and not be. I need to be humble. You know.
Here's the perspective. You don't need to. That brings guilt into your space. Something that I learned a while back was that I don't need to, I don't have to, but I get to, you know?
Yeah.
And that really ties into this whole mindset and choice of happiness, because again, it's like I don't have to deal with this shit that I'm dealing with. I can boom, later.
Mm-hmm.
But I get this opportunity.
Yeah. You look at things as opportunities rather than, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, and nothing happens to you. This shit just happens.
Yeah. It just happens. That's right.
Should have happened to other people too.
Not everything's about you. That's a really hard concept to grasp in this day and age where everybody's just, I feel like a lot of us are kind of spoiled in general. It's hard to grasp the concept that it's not all about you. This isn't happening to you. This is just happening. But there's a ton of selfishness out there, I think, in society in general, and I think we're all a bit guilty of it. So to find tools to combat that and rise above that are very useful. And it sounds like you've found those tools. That's fantastic. Do you go to therapy?
I do not, but I'm called guilty. I'm called selfish a lot.
Really?
And I don't doubt it. But I'm working on it, trying to think about other people more.
I did hear in an interview, it was in the road interview.
Road yeah.
Yeah, where you said, where they were going, you're not selfish, man. That's you got every right to feel that way. And you were like, no, I'm very selfish. I'm well aware of this. And I think that awareness of it is step one. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm still at step one. I've been at step one for a long time.
It's okay to be. It's okay to be. You got to learn when to turn it on and off, I guess. So last year, you discovered this cancer that caused them to remove a part of your tongue. You discovered it yourself. That's freaky.
Yeah,
but
it was wild.
You knew something was wrong. You reached back in your throat. You felt something, and you had a feeling. You just kind of knew.
Yeah, my heart went into my stomach, and I was just like, nah, fuck.
Dude.
I was driving on the way to the hospital, to the ER, to have a doctor look at it.
Yeah. And that's when you discovered it.
Yeah, it was wild.
Oh, my God.
And I just knew, but I didn't know,
Right.
Those things.
Yeah, you hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to ask you about is what that looks like from the perspective of a DJ, a career DJ, somebody who doesn't work for a corporation that offers them health benefits, somebody who's on their own from the perspective of healthcare. This really interests me. And this really, I wanted to talk to Risk One about this when he first got diagnosed, because he was posting his journey. And I remember early on, one of the first things that happened was, he paid a fair amount of money for his health insurance. And he went to the hospital. He was diagnosed. They were going to do surgery. It seemed like it was a simple thing, and it was going to be behind him soon. And then the day before his first surgery, his insurance company, and I wish I knew who it was so I could put him on blast, but I don't, said, you know what, we're not going to pay for this. No reason. Just said, hey, we're not going to pay for your surgery. We've decided it's not covered under your coverage.
I'm on Medi-Cal.
Okay.
And so I make under the amount that is the limit.
Okay.
So I'm covered under Medi-Cal, and so Medi-Cal is actually really good insurance. There's some things that I'm not too stoked about, but right now, before I was at UCSF, and right now I'm at Stanford. I can't complain about either one.
Right on.
Yeah, I've actually considered. I told my manager, I said, hey, like, I'm gonna have to stop taking these gigs because I can't. It's not worth it to me.
Right. Because you're gonna.
Yeah, it'd be great to have the money, but my health is first, and I'd rather keep my insurance.
Right.
Than be able to travel more. Because that's literally what I do. I just spend my money on traveling.
That's what's up. You've traveled a lot. What's your favorite place you've been?
I don't know. I think they're all just different experiences in different places. I really enjoyed going to Spain. I went there with my parents. I rented a car and drove all around the south of Spain. That was
Nice.
really beautiful. I went to Italy. That was probably one of my favorite trips. I was there for like 10 days and I went to 8 different places.
Right on.
Actually, got backstage or on stage with Jazzy Jeff at a show in Milan. I, I was talking to Furno, and I just happened to be in passing through Milan on my way to Lake Como that night. So me and my homegirl went and hit Furno up. He brought us backstage, and I said hi to everyone in the crew except for Jeff. And when it was over, Jeff took off like real fast. So he didn't even know I was there at all until I told him like years later. But
Oh yeah.
my Italy trip was probably one of the funnest.
Nice.
Just because Italy is so pretty.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. I had the good fortune of experiencing it when I worked on cruise ships, and yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, absolutely right. Now Jazzy Jeff knows who you are, and is an advocate of yours. What is that like?
It's really cool. I used to really get starstruck by him, and I kind of do just because I don't know him. I never had that real personal conversation with him yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once that happens, I think it really breaks that vibe of, putting someone on a pedestal. Like, I think having a real human conversation is the eye opener in that they're human.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. You handed off to him in the Don't Rush DJ challenge. That was pretty cool. Did Shaq reach out to you for that?
No, Shaq was just a member in it.
Okay.
But Shaq did reach out to me right around Freestyle to do stuff on his radio station, but I just haven't put the time aside to do it.
Copy that. That was.
And he actually reached out to me before when DJ City put out a video of mine. He slid in my DM and was like, "Yo, you gotta teach me this. You gotta teach me." And
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, who the hell is this really Shaq? So I'm like looking at it, and it was Shaq. I'm like, what? And
That's
he's
dope.
friends with my homie Ease, so I told him Ease is my homie. He's like, oh, then we're already fam. So,
Right on.
and then I invited him out to Motown on Mondays in LA
Oh wow.
or in the Bay or something, and I mean he's down to come out, but
How cool. That's incredible.
and he scratches.
He does everything, man. What, is there anything that guy can't do?
He's super cool.
sounds
I'm
like it.
excited to meet him in person, but yeah.
I bet. That's cool. So you're let's talk about your battling a bit. What was the first battle you entered?
Oh yeah, actually, you go back. The dude who threw the Don't Rush, who put it together, DJ Baby Drew.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one who put it together. And then and he just asked a bunch of us. So
Dope.
we were just. It was really who do you know? Who do you want to bring in? You know.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
dope. What was your first battle that you entered?
My first battle was at the Elbow Room, and it was a scratch battle. And I just got really drunk before it, and I picked a beat that I just asked the last guy, hey, can I use that record? And it was like a BPM that I'm just not the best at scratching.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I lost that one. My homie won though.
Okay.
Primo Cuts from Healdsburg, Windsor.
Oh wow, right on. North Bay represent.
Yep.
Cool.
The
You
first
entered.
battle I ever won was one you probably heard of, the Mighty Four battle.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a DJ part too.
Say that
And
one more
was
time.
they had a DJ battle as well,
Okay.
and that was at Temple downstairs.
Yeah, right on. That was the first battle you won.
Yeah.
But then you went on to place in the DMC quite a bit after that, right? You got 3 second place finishes and
Yeah.
7. You placed 7 times in that, right?
Yeah. I probably got robbed 2 times.
Seems to be a lot of politics in the judging of those battles sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
It's a battle, you know?
Yeah.
I don't care. It'd be nice to have a couple of titles, but, you know, I worked my ass off and got that national title for freestyle, so I don't really care about it. I actually started bringing my freestyle sets to DMC and just showcasing those. Because the way that Christy says it, explains is that a lot of people should enter just because you get 2 to 8 minutes of just showing off on the turntables and doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times have DJs been to the battle and they're just like, I can do better than that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you just do it, you know? Nothing
Yeah.
to it but to do it. So you go up there, and then a lot of people hit me up. They're like, "Yo, I've always wanted to do DMC. You know, like, what kind of pointers do you have?" And I always tell them, like, "Look, the best pointer I can give you is just if you always wanted to, then make this the year, because you're not going to get denied. You're going to let you battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if you don't make it past the 2 minutes." Learn something from that and come back the next year. But don't spend your entire life dreaming about something, because once I have a goal and I reach that goal, I stop looking at that goal like it's way up on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Then I realize how many other goals there are that I want to do as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That'll keep you reaching higher.
Yeah.
Now, before the 3-style battle, let's see. So you, if I remember the timeline correctly, just following you on social media, you decided to enter, and then you got diagnosed. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then you considered not entering, but you did after all, and you ended up winning, and that's bravo, man. That's such an inspirational story. I hope gives listeners a reason to move forward, even when all the odds are against them, and there's so many excuses to not move forward with such a goal and such a plan. I was so happy for you when you won that. That was really dope. And then you're welcome. And then on to Moscow for the World Finals, which of course then got canceled due to COVID-19. Are you relieved?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because I know you mentioned you were even talking about just taking a break from DJing like about a month ago.
Yeah, it's silly. I'm actually having a lot more fun learning Photoshop, After Effects, and OBS than I do sitting around trying to learn more about DJing and how to deliver like a eye-catching set and an ear-catching set. I'm burnt out on it. I want to move into advertising, try something new. I'm just like not finding a lot of fun. And I came up with a new routine 2 days ago. That was fun.
All right.
Those moments are pretty spread out, and they're forced a lot of the time. A lot of stuff that I came up with at 3-Style was already in my back pocket, and it was stuff that I created when I was having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of other stuff is just stuff that happens when you put yourself in front of the turntables and force yourself to listen to stuff, and that's great too, and that's how a lot of the best ideas come out. But I mean, I started DJing to have fun, you know?
Right.
I'd like to continue that, and when I do events or like money paying events, I'm having fun because 1, I'm getting paid, and 2, no one cares about this or that. They just want to hear the music and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go out there and you do performance, like drop a track and let them cut out the track and let them sing it, and then you hit them with something that they didn't know that they wanted to hear next, that brings me joy.
Yeah.
And fills my pockets, you know?
That's dope. And I like that you you take notes of, when you're practicing, you take notes of things that you like in your set and things that you might want to keep or incorporate in later sets. That's really smart. I don't think a lot of DJs do that. I think I know for myself, I know in my early days of DJing, I did that. I took notes. The homie Royce Rufino recently reminded me that I was always taking notes in my early days and just kind of constantly curating sets. And I lost that at some point, man. I just got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to show up and play music and see how it goes. And sometimes it goes okay, and sometimes it doesn't. So I think that's a good lesson to kind of keep notes and just kind of create puzzle pieces of your set that you can incorporate, anytime down the road.
Yeah, I really like puzzle piecing. I do that. I was just I was talking to someone and telling them that I need to go through my library and clean up my routines folder because it's just a little hard to navigate. But actually, I was watching Golden Child DJ at the club one night, and he has these blank files. They're just like 2 seconds of dead air, and he makes them and then drops them into whatever he uses to organize, and the title of them is dash 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 dash.
Okay.
And then he copies them, makes multiples of them, and then he sorts his music by when he dragged it in there. And then if he likes to play a certain group of songs together, he'll do those, put a dash file, and then do the next bunch that he likes to do, and put another dash file. So I do that for my routines.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He'll make it almost like a border.
Yeah,
or a bookend.
Yeah, it's for visual reference.
That's dope. Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah, game changer for me because now I just look at my screen, I know what it is. I don't have to really look at it,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm intrigued by these edits that you make too, called hands-on edits.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. Do you put those out anywhere where DJs can use them?
Yeah, right now they're on my website, but I need to take them all down and put them on Bandcamp so I can make money from them. Because people will buy them. I mean,
yeah.
I know people will buy them.
Yeah.
Or add them to my Twitch so when people subscribe, they have access to certain stuff.
There you go.
I'll probably do that.
You're taking the advice of the guys on the Road podcast.
Yeah.
They said some things I didn't particularly agree with there. Now,
What?
Well, so they talked about how, these DJs are just giving out their product for free and they need to monetize it. And on some level, yeah, they do. DJs deserve to. We have created a world of kind of expecting things for free, especially music. But these DJs do. They put their heart and soul and time into this, and they should be compensated.
Yeah.
That being said, I couldn't help but think of Qbert when I was listening to them talk about that, and the fact that Qbert, excuse me, when I first started DJing, there was this. It was a culture of I do this. I paid my dues. I bought the equipment and the records. I'm not going to show you how to do this. You got to learn this on your own. You got to spend your own money. And then Qbert came along and was like, oh, here's some break records with all the scratch samples that I use on them and some of the beats that I use. And here's Turntable TV to show you how I do these scratches.
Yeah, but did he give away those records or did he sell them? He
sold them. That's true. But however, he did... he was working to level the playing field. And I thought that was... I think that this culture of DJs we have in the Bay Area, of super dope DJs constantly taking it to the next level are a result of that, of what he did back then, not having that attitude of, hey, me, this is mine. I started this, or I created this, and I'm not going to share it with you.
Let me hear some examples of those people.
Say that one more time.
Let me hear some examples of those people that you think that you feel carry that legacy or result from that idea.
Oh man. Well, supernatural turntable artists are the first that come to mind.
I don't even know who they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Swift Rock, Streak, and Mike Realm.
All right.
They started coming into Ultrasounds Records in San Bruno, Ajax's record store, when they were like 14 years old. And I remember seeing them, and Qbert had a heavy presence back then. And I remember, and turntable TV was, it was just coming about. It was a pretty new thing. Mm-hmm. And I just remember seeing them. I used to watch Qbert and go, "That's amazing that you can do that." It never dawned on me that I might be able to do that. That was just kind of how I thought. But these kids were like, "Oh shit, that's how he made that sound like that." Okay, well, I'm gonna switch it up and make it sound like this. And before I knew it, I was just like, "Oh my god, these kids were blowing my mind." And then I just started noticing more and more incredible turntablists. A lot coming out of San Jose. You mentioned Golden Child, Cutso. I remember. What was their crew? Finger Bangers. I remember when they came out, and I was just blown away by the technicality. And I was really a
fan of theirs.
Yeah, for sure. And I really do think that it was, guys like Qbert and everybody he was working with at the time, making this accessible. And so. You stumped me there. You said he did sell those records, and yeah, you had to pay for turntable TV.
She was all about his money.
For sure. You got to be.
They're all about their money. It's interesting when you go over there. It's like, it's just interesting.
It's a big business.
He came and visited me in the hospital, and
I heard. That's dope.
And he brought a photon fader.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was cutting on it. But I mean, there's always like, I'm not saying he didn't do it to be nice. I definitely came to hang out. Shout out to Hard Rich for coming by. But I mean, it's always like, he's very smart about always making sure that the product is present with him. He's not just bringing himself. He's bringing his thoughtfulness of the future.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because he, like I said, back then I felt he was leveling the playing field. He was giving everybody the tools to be as dope as he was. And that boosted a lot of people up, and that made a lot of people really dope. That created this whole culture of guys that were just absolutely incredible on the decks.
You'd be surprised how many people won't share. I reached out. There was this challenge going on, this DJ Premier.
Premier Scratch Challenge.
Yeah, and this one dude, I don't remember his name. Seems like a cool dude. And I understand where he's coming from, so I'm really not trying to knock him or anything, but like, I don't know, I guess I am at the same time, but I asked for his records that he made to redo the Nas's like.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Yo, I wanna give that a shot, or I wanted to do that or something." And I know I can go dig up the samples myself, but like, they would call me Lazyboy for nothing. I gotta live up to my name somehow.
That's right.
And it's just a lot of work that I don't really feel like doing because someone else already did it, and why wouldn't you share it, Mm-hmm. And he said, "Well, I spent a lot of time, and I'm like, look, I told him the same thing. I said, I can do it. I can look up the same samples too. It's not It's just I don't want to spend the time to do it. You already did it. You know. Well, have fun with it, he said, and
Oh man.
Maybe you can do better. I'm like, that's not the fucking point.
Yeah.
And I ended up just, you know, asking him a couple more times, like lightly, like come on, like kind of giving him the nudge.
Yeah.
And he still said no. So I just left it at, well, here's the one I did. I spent a lot of time on this one as well. You can have it.
Oh, nice.
You know, and have fun with it.
Mm.
And I was hoping to see that and you know, have a moment of realization, but that didn't happen. So I'll just have to make it myself, but whatever. So, you know, I feel like, I don't know, like, a lot of people like to keep this shit to themselves, and I'm all about that too. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of shit, a lot of ideas that I have that may never see the light of day because I never bring them out.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I have people on my team that are like, yo, you need to like do something with this shit. Like I want to do Hella Cheese Twitch page. The only one who's gonna really do that is me or my partner, and my partner's already working on another page for his other brand, Motown on Mondays. So, I mean, it's really the ball's in my court, and I don't know. Aside from me trying to overdo everything always and be a perfectionist, there's really not much holding me back, you know?
Yeah. I want to talk to you a little bit about momentum, because that was another thing I thought of when listening to that part of the Road podcast. And it's funny you mentioned the Premier Scratch Challenge. So a buddy of mine up in Seattle was telling me about a friend of his who entered that Premier Scratch Challenge and posted his and got 20,000 views. And
what's his name?
You know, it slips my mind. But my buddy up in Seattle, his name's DJ Tone. And I want to say...
yeah.
Yeah, I used to DJ at Temple with him. We used to do that downstairs together on Fridays. But I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of his friend who got this, who entered that Premier Scratch Challenge. But he got 20,000 views, and before that, his Instagram was not that active. And so Tone was like, dude, you have this moment, and you have this momentum that you can really do something with. You know, your next move is critical. You need to keep this momentum up. You have eyes on you. You need to do something with that. And he didn't. He just kind of, I don't think he knew exactly what to do with it. So he just kind of went on about his business and didn't post anything else for another week or so. And by then nobody was watching again. That sounds like something I would do. And the reason I bring that up is because your momentum is up right now. You have a lot going on right now, and you're in demand right now. However, you also seem to have kind of you seem a little burnt out, if I may.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you think about that? Does that worry you that momentum is going to die and that you have to seize this moment? Do you feel pressure and therefore and does that pressure take any of the joy out of this for you?
You know, a lot of the damper, a lot of the slowdown. I mean, at the end of the day, I can really just point at COVID and say, hey, I can blame it. I can not be accountable and blame it on COVID because that's a reasonable, you know, understanding of how to slow down and losing the momentum.
Yeah.
And but you know, let's be accountable here. And I haven't done everything I could. If I have, I don't know. I'd be blowing up even more. You know.
Okay.
I'm getting better at actual DJing. I'd be pushing harder with brands. I have my new logo out by now. I've been working on it. I've been working with RM1 Creative on a new logo. I've been doing so much more if my heart was in it as much as it was
But you're just not
when I wrote all that stuff.
right. But
Yeah,
you're just not feeling that these days.
Yeah, I think I just need to spend more time digging up the right music that I actually care for. At the end of the day, for me, DJing, the fun part about DJing is finding those tracks that I really love myself and then sharing them with the world. You know,
Nice.
like, there was nothing like that vibe when you went to the record store back in the day, which also my record store was Ultrasounds. I'd be there
Okay.
every Sunday. I'd spend all my money there. And the shit for me, like the best feeling for me would be go to the shop, have, what was AJ's brother's name?
Ravi.
Robbie. Have Robbie give me like the new shit. Go, yo, this is really hot. Let me listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back home and then play that shit. Because, I mean, you know, back in the day, DJing was about like, you only had so much money to spend at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only so many records that you really
Could
wanted.
get your hands on, yeah.
And there's a lot, and that you can get your hands on. There's a lot of it that you just, I don't know if you did it, but I'd always have like a pile of records that I wanted. And then I go through that pile, must have. It's kind of like how I organize my sets now if I have time if I make time to organize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I put a pile in a bunch of shit that I think I might want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another folder that is my must play. And then from there I organize my set. So like I have my stack of records, have my must haves, and then depending on how much money I'd have, I'd either buy all the must haves and go back through that other pile, or I'd have to I'd put some of my must haves down and really figure out which ones are worth all of my money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be really excited to play that shit. So I think that's the fun part for me and probably for a lot of DJs. I just need to go back and dig up a bunch of great music that I love, or go through my shit and like delete a bunch of shit that I don't love.
Mm-hmm.
And then share that stuff. Or edit my own records, my own hands-on edits, and then it's interesting because I just, what do you call it? Not refurbish. Revive. Like, just tracks that were cool, but now I've just made an edit where I have a bunch of samples on it, and I can perform it, and then I get this really great satisfaction of, I just pulled that off and can do it, and then I have another satisfaction of, yo, my fans really dug that.
Yeah.
And that's where another avenue of just, I'm happy with what I'm putting out comes from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think for me, that creates a new joy or a fresh vibe for me where I'm hungry more.
Yeah.
I think if I spent more time doing that, I'd want to push more. Yeah. Nowadays, I just normally just bring whatever I have. Maybe I'll spend a little bit of time organizing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, like you were saying earlier, I'll just go out and I just play music.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. But
Yeah.
but again, like you said earlier, you have those kind of preset puzzle pieces that you've created and memorized and written down to incorporate, and that probably makes those sets a little easier. I know I've had my nights of playing, 4 hours straight where I just kind of lose steam after a couple hours and go into autopilot.
Literally what I just said earlier, when I was done playing, I was watching Get Live, and Get Live is super dope because he can just go hours and hours, and just his content is like just jam packed. And I was talking to someone, I was like, yeah, I don't know how this guy does it, because like here I am at 3.5 hours in, and I'm like just lose steam.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I feel the same way. I wonder if you and I crossed paths back in the day, because I worked at Ultrasounds, but in their last few years of business there, I was off doing other things.
I've always had long hair, so maybe. And I've always been from Santa Rosa.
Okay.
And Kendo was there a lot. And Kendo would always ask me, DJ Amen? And I'm like, yeah. And Amen's got a big ego, and so do a lot of DJs,
A lot of
myself
DJs
included.
do. That's true.
So I would always be like, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. Like I don't think I ever really said anything like bad or he thinks he's the shit and or I don't even know if I said that. This was like 20 years ago. But I just know that all of us had such big egos.
For sure.
And it was tricky and it was easier for other people to be in the room, share the same room than it was for me. Even to this day, I still have trouble around certain people just because of the way that I choose to feel.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's very self-aware.
I mean, yeah, but again, that's the first step. And I've been on the first step for a long time. Also, shout to Amen. He actually did a DJ relief fund.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he raised over $100,000 to share with DJs.
Oh, wow.
Affected by this, yeah.
Dope.
He uses his platform. I believe he's a program director in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the station, but yeah, he had artists donating tens of thousands of dollars.
Cool.
And I got a Cash App alert that I was donated $500 from.
All right.
The relief, and he's always been there to support me through my health challenges, and he's a down to earth, good dude.
Yeah.
A lot of ego, but you know what? We need that. I have a lot of ego too. I need that. If I didn't have the ego, I probably wouldn't step in front of the turntables and be vulnerable.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. And once again, North Bay represent.
Yeah, he's from Petaluma.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember I was...
His cousin, DJ Almighty.
Okay.
I always ask him what happened to his cousin, but his cousin was like one of the first dudes I ever heard do like mixtape style mixtapes, like 4-track style.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he was so badass at it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was DJing a wedding at Toby's Feed Barn once, and I was talking to the guy who manages it after, and he's like, the owner's son is a DJ. He goes by Amen. It's like, yes, I've heard of him. And Amen's got his Blessed clothing line. You, on the other hand, are canceling all prayers.
Yeah.
You said stop your prayers and start with cares. That was my version of it, but... but you did mention something again on the Road podcast about you. Do you have a shirt that says prayers and it's crossed out and it says cares under?
Yeah, it says send prayers. Because what people say is
sending prayers, thoughts and prayers.
Sending thoughts and prayers. And I'm agnostic. I believe that when we die, we're dead. That's it. I don't believe in like spirits hovering around us or none of that. I don't believe in Santa Claus. To me, all that shit goes in the same category.
Okay.
Yes, I said God goes in the same category as Santa Claus. And the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, and the Easter Bunny, all that shit.
The Tooth Fairy. We're going to have a debate
about that. Yeah, well, I mean, one of you technical Tooth Fairies, our parents, and so is Santa,
Shh, I got a lot of young listeners. Let's go easy.
Jesus Christ was probably a real person, but was he the Son of God? No. No, and you can unfollow me and hate me if you like, but if you believe that, something is not right. And I'm sorry for one of those people, but that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Nor me. That well said. So tell us about your hat that you're wearing and your clothing line.
Yeah, so I mean, my homie, he has this company called Class Act, which is on the back of the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually a graffiti crew from Los Angeles that some of them live in the Bay.
Okay.
And they're also MTA, which is just a massive graffiti crew here in LA. And if you look up the largest graffiti piece ever made in the world, it was their piece, a big MTA in the LA River, if it's really a river, whatever that is.
Yeah, the canal.
Yeah. Now I got busted. The feds busted him and got him with gang enhancement type of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my boy, who's my connection with this company, he actually got sued for like $2 million, but he got a lawyer and they found some way to get out of it. But
wow,
he's a good homie, also a DJ.
All right.
Mr. Murdoch. And he's been putting out clothing with CA, his crew, for a long time. I asked him if we could do some product lines, and I just had the first idea that came to my mind was just cancer, since they're a graffiti crew, cancer with the cancer crossed out. And that's cool, I like it, it's fresh. But I wanted something with more of a slogan, so that I thought of send prayers and cross that out as well and put a cure, because at the end of the day you can pray all you want and that ain't stopping shit, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. All right, so at the end of the day you want people to not send prayers,
I mean,
but send cares.
I think as silly as it sounds, I think prayers are selfish, and someone told me that I was being selfish for putting out that
message.
Thing.
Yeah,
message. Like if someone wants to, I think the argument that he made was if someone wants to, if they see a homeless person and they want to give them $5, but the homeless person said, you know, what the fuck is $5 gonna do for me? Like, I need $10,000 to get me, you know, rent for a year or whatever. That's selfish. And I understand where he's coming from. But I guess where I'm coming from is like, when I'm saying that setting thoughts and prayers is selfish, is like, who is that really helping? Is it helping me? Do I care about that? I don't care about that. So at that point, are you helping me? Nah. Like, yeah, I get it, you care. That helps, but it helps to an extent. You know, and I'm not saying that anyone who's sending me prayers has the ability to come up with a cure. I mean, we are, but it's really what we choose to spend our lifetime on. I can spend the rest of my life finding a cure for something. Is that what I want to do? Is that going to bring me joy? No. I don't give a shit about that. Like, yeah, it'd be great, but the amount of work that I gotta put in to come up with that is just, I'd rather spend my time, which is already limited, doing other things that I find a lot more fun.
You know, I think a lot of people, they want to say something positive, and they don't know what else to say, and that's where, and on the same token, I think a lot of people want they want answers, they want an explanation to life and why we're all here, and while saying God exists doesn't exactly give an explanation. I think it gives some people comfort. So I do think that, you know, intentions are all positive when people offer thoughts and prayers. However, I like your I like where you're going with that. Cancel.
It is positive. It is interesting though when I tell people, like, you know, instead of giving me thoughts or prayers, like, how about the next time you want to do that, you give someone that you love a hug.
Yeah,
Or
I like that.
reach out to someone that you haven't reached out to in a while, whether it's your dad or your mom or, or someone that you cared about, or reach out to a stranger.
Yeah.
Cheer someone up. Take that energy that I don't give a shit about. Yeah, it's cool that you care about me, but at the end of the day, like, we should care for everyone because we're human beings.
Yeah.
And just put it somewhere else. Put it where it's gonna find more of an impact.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
That's
And there was something else I wanted to say about that too. I forget.
that's so positive. That's so you seem to live. You're all about experiences. And I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate just your attitude, man. Everything, like I said, everything that you've gone through. I think a lot of people could use as an excuse to just be deflated, an excuse to not move forward. And you're not doing that, man. You're not letting that happen. You're not letting it hold you back.
Don't get me wrong, I've got lots of excuses every day, all day.
I'm sure, but you're rising above it, man. You're saying positive things, and you saying these positive things and having this positive attitude, and now having many eyes on you, many young eyes of up-and-coming DJs who want to be like you. That's a good position to have, man. That's I think you're in a great mindset for it, and I think you're gonna do a lot of good things, man. And you're gonna give people a positive mindset. And Lord knows people need that right now. Somebody knows people need that. I don't know about the Lord, but
so a lot of people brought up what you brought up earlier about doing freestyle and like still winning while going through all this stuff. And for a long time I didn't like understand that. I'm still like, coming over the horizon and getting a better view of that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, to water it down, like I went through the surgery and I had some time to heal, and I had a lot of time sitting at my house and where I can just be on my laptop and come up with ideas. But like, when I take a step back and look at it, like, it is pretty intense. Like the only person who's ever won freestyle while fighting a cancer that almost killed him before,
Mm-hmm.
And then I think for me, what was really great was just seeing the love and the amount of people that came out to support. Granted, it was in San Francisco, but just there were so many people there that came to support me that I didn't even see were there.
Mm-hmm.
I took photos of people that I don't even remember being there. Like I got on their case, like, why didn't you come up and say hi? And they sent me a photo of me, Mike 2600, me and him together. I'm like, nice. Oh, like. But I guess what my point is that it's just a trip. It's a trip. And, nothing really was holding me back at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I found out that I was chosen as one of the finalists.
Mm-hmm.
It was a week and a half before my surgery.
Okay.
And I had just gone to the Jazzy Jeff show in San Jose, the final destination, and I stayed up. I slept for like an hour, and I took an Uber to Emeryville and got into my homie's car. I had talked two of my homies into not going to work that week or that day and these 2 days and driving me to Yosemite because I'd never been to Yosemite before, and I wanted to do that before my surgery because I knew I could have died in my surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were on our way there, right when I got in the car, I went on my phone and I just got tagged in something. I saw it. I'm like, no way. I'm like, This is crazy because Red Bull did zero to communicate with us.
Yeah.
They just posted
I
the
heard.
results online.
Yeah. But that's how
And
you found out. You found
that's
out
how-
through posts
Yeah,
that you were
through
a
being
finalist.
tied and stuff. Yeah.
That's-
And I was just like, yo, I can't believe this. And me and my homie, one of my homies that was in the car, he joined me in Tokyo when I went to my first freestyle. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go to Tokyo. You should come with me. And so he came. So he knew all about it. We got faded as shit in Japan.
Okay.
We had a great time. So he knows what's up. And it was a trip. And then I had my surgery. And then I'm just healing from it. I didn't spend any time on my set. And I started getting serious about it. Because I think my biggest fear was just going up there and looking like a dumbass. In front of all these people that I knew were going to be there. That was really the biggest motivator for me.
You mentioned that you didn't want to let anybody down.
Yeah, man, I didn't want to go up there and, like, I know I'm dope. Like, I know I'm not a whack-ass DJ. There's definitely areas that I have to improve. Lots of areas. And I'm working on those. But I'm not a whack DJ, and I know I have skills. And I know that if I didn't, focus on those and went up there and just tanked my set, that it would just be lame.
Yeah,
I have a creative mind, and I got the technical skill to back it up. So, like,
right.
There's no way I'm going to go on this platform in front of these dope-ass DJs. Like, Dynamics had one of the best sets I've ever heard in a 3-star set the year before in Philly. And then the rest of them, Chris Villa's just a dope DJ and always clean in his live sets. And then there was everyone else that I didn't know. I heard Matsu a little bit, but, I mean, he took the entire crowd by surprise. Like, no one thought he was going to come out swinging like that. Like, he was
Who was that?
Matsu, the guy who got second place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are you afraid of letting down, though?
Myself, number one. And then, just people that know how dope I am. That believe in me,
Okay. Yeah, right on.
Now, if I would have gone up there and someone had just a better set than me, that'd be one thing. But I'm talking about going up there and just not having a dope set. That would have been letting people down.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's what they thought.
that's what she thought. That was random.
What was that?
That was my Siri. She's apparently listening.
It's crazy.
She agrees with you. That was crazy.
Yeah, I guess, long story short, to bring this around, I guess, it's a trip that, and a realization that, that was a real inspiration for people. It can be looked at as an inspiration, not just youngsters, but old people as well, Like,
Yeah.
just gotta
Hey, I'm an
do
old
what
person.
you want to do. Yeah, my take on it was, I'm just going to go up there and do what I want to do and have a good time.
Exactly. And like you said, and like I said, you have the odds stacked against you. You have every reason to come up with excuses. But you didn't. And I appreciate that, man. You're an inspiration. You're a super dope DJ. Whatever you go on to do, if you, sounds like you're on your way to becoming a computer programmer or broadcast engineer once COVID's over. Are you planning on going to Moscow in November?
That I think you're gonna push it back again. I think you're gonna push it into 2021.
Oh, okay.
I think so. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna go represent. I'm gonna go out there. I'm already building a few things. I've got a few that I haven't even touched in a while that I already put in my folder. That sound amazing to me. Yeah.
Cool. I look
do
forward
that.
to it, man. Yeah, I'll be rooting for you, as I know a lot of people will.
Come out if you can.
I would love to. That would be
If
dope.
you've never been to Russia, fuck it. Just make it happen,
It's not a bad idea.
I told all my homies, I'm like, yo, if you like the freestyle, why don't you just come? Come along. Like, I wasn't talking about this year. I'm talking about every year. I've been going for 5 years.
Yeah, dude.
And it's just fun. You know, it's what do they call it? They call it DJ camp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And you just go and have a good time and get wasted with some of your idols, and yeah, it's fun.
Are you friends with Flip Out?
Yeah, dude, Flip Out is one of the most awesome people in the world.
He is. I haven't seen him in years, but I used to kick it with him when he first came down from Canada. AJ helped them record their first record.
Really?
And they were
He
like,
talked
yeah.
about coming to the Bay back in the day.
Yeah,
He talked
yeah.
about coming to the Bay when the Bay was hood.
Yeah, I could say that's sounds about right. It was early '90s. I mean, yeah, hip hop was in full swing. It was an incredible time, man. And he and his boy Shane, who went on to start Swollen Members, lived out of their Volkswagen Jetta and cut an album. They had a group called What the Hell. They were dope. They were really dope. They were kind of, I mean, back then, I'm sure people could easily just be like, oh, you guys are trying to be like the Beastie Boys or something. But I thought they were super talented. And yeah, Phil was a really nice guy.
What was it called?
It was called What the Hell. Their group was called What the Hell.
Are they on Spotify? I'm going to check this shit out.
I doubt it. I'm going to try to dig up their record and share it with you because you get a kick out of it.
If I like it, maybe I'll throw it in my 3-star set to blow his mind.
Now I have to dig it up. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that to you. That's my
AJ
mission
helped
this
record
weekend.
that? I can hit up AJ too.
Yeah. He probably has stacks of that record somewhere. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. I just asked that because I saw you were kicking it in. Was it DR with him somewhere South America, in a house with a whole bunch of DJs? Is that right?
Oh, was it? I don't know, man. Maybe. I mean, we all went to Santiago, Chile for 3-star.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay.
We rented a mansion there. It's probably the most fun, the best spot that we had.
Tight.
And actually, one day I came home from going shopping or something, and Jazzy Jeff and Bassett were in their backyard doing a 2x4.
Yeah, sick. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's dope. Those
But
are
Flip Out's
incredible
super dope.
moments, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you get a chance, come to 3-star because
I will,
those moments aren't gonna happen in your house. You know?
You're right.
Or
You're
maybe they
absolutely
will.
right.
I don't know who you
Now,
know.
with all the live streaming now, maybe. Last question, man. I've kept you long enough. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you. Do you like doing weddings?
I love doing weddings.
I want to know why, because that's the majority of what I do these days, and it feels. Oh, let me choose my words carefully here.
You don't love it.
I
You don't love it for the same reason that I love it.
No, beyond that, it feels. So when I first started DJing, I was like, I want to DJ in the clubs. I want to enter battles. Oh, you want me to do a wedding? No, I don't do that. I'm not that DJ. And then over time, it became a little more like, okay, people want like a club DJ to rock their wedding, and then it became fun. But it is you're creatively limited, I feel, at most weddings because they give you guidelines and they're like, you better stick within these guidelines. So you need to find your creativity within those guidelines. And it sounds like you're able to do that. So say a few words about that if you don't mind.
I mean, if the songs that are gonna have the most impact on your crowd are songs that are on your do not playlist, then yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty sure we can agree that a lot of the fun stuff that we bring to the table, or a lot of creative mixing that we can bring, a lot of impactful ways of delivering the music that they want to hear. I still have an opportunity to be brought in, no matter most of the time. You know, there's some weddings I've been to where they don't want any commercial music or stuff that I'm not ready for. But for the most part, like, I don't know, I just have that style, I guess, for me, where I can cut it up a little bit and not be overpowering.
Got you. That's the trick. Because if you're standing there scratching and power mixing the whole time, then all the old aunts and, parents of the bride and groom are like, what are
Turn
you
the volume
doing, man?
down a
Just
little
play
bit.
the song.
Play the scratching a little bit more in the background.
There you go.
Turn the volume down a little bit, and then have your scratching be an echo of the last phrase that was said or something.
Okay. I like that.
That always catches somebody's attention, and they'll come up and be like, "Yo, I seen you doing that.
Yeah.
That's dope." I always get like two people that'll come up after a wedding or during a wedding, and either know who I am, which is really weird, or just recognize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna take pretty much whatever wedding comes my way because I like the money, but being that I'm 38, it's kind of a blessing because I get a lot of people that are around my age or a little bit older, and so like we know that music so well.
Yeah. Yeah. That
like
is
the 90s R&B.
for sure. We are in a sweet
The last
spot
wedding
there.
I did, I played during dinner. I got the green light to play whatever I want, and I just mixed oldies and like
90s R&B.
and 90s R&B.
That's what's up. It drives people
All I
crazy
play-
these days.
Yes, and I would even I even have a lot of fun, not even mixing, but just letting fading it out and then dropping the next song because they all have that same vibe of
Yes.
no, and that honestly, that's my favorite thing about DJing is getting that response.
Yep. Me too. And it's I find it's dude, those dinner sets where you can just get away with a 90s R&B set and you can get after it's very rewarding. So
I have people singing and doing the O stuff like the entire dinner.
that's dope.
It was amazing.
Such a good
And
feeling.
then I guess that's just it. Like if you next time you feel like man, this playlist is looking kind of weird. Like just think about a couple of transitions that you like to do that are left field that come out of nowhere, or let them sing a track and then finish the song and then drop a track that you know they're gonna love.
Right on.
Like for me, that's where the fun of weddings come. And you can play all that cheesy shit.
Yeah. I think that's where there's something inside of us as DJs that
Cringes.
a little bit, yeah. And I've learned to embrace the cheese and hopefully do it tastefully and not overdo it. But yeah, there's a mechanism inside of us that goes, hold up, that's really cheesy. Is that okay? And we all want to be whatever the opposite of cheesy is. But
All
I
right.
like your
Well,
attitude.
since you said that, I'm inviting you as soon as I can get the page up. Me and Donovan Gordo Cabeza is my manager. We also have a party called Hella Cheese,
Yeah.
and it's all cheesy ass sing along music.
All right.
And whatever guilty pleasure music that you like or you think someone likes, that might be their guilty pleasure. So anything goes. And we invite that cringy ass shit.
All right.
And it's a lot of fun.
Cool. I'll be there.
It's like talking to a girl that you really have a crush on, but you're really scared to talk to, but you just do it anyways. Because you kind of, it doesn't feel right, but it feels so good.
Huh. Good analogy. I appreciate that.
All right, word.
Hey, where can people find you, man? Where can people find your clothing and your everything?
Everything can be found on my website, www.djlazyboy.net.
There it is. Go buy one of those dope hats.
Oh, yeah, yep. I got hats, I got sweatshirts, shirts, I got shirts for women, I got different color shirts. Also, follow and subscribe to my Twitch page, twitch.tv/DJ Lazyboy.
There it
You
is.
can find me on Instagram also at DJ Lazyboy. Everything else at DJ Lazyboy.
Cool. DJ Lazyboy. Greg, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. You have a great weekend.
Thank you, Mamu. You too.
All right, man. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.